all is well out there today. This is Alma Rose, your certified holistic practitioner, and I believe as I heal myself, I heal others, mind, body, and soul. And today I want to talk about self-love because today is Self-Love Sunday. And today's topics around self-love, I want to talk about having self-awareness so we can create better values or be more in tune with our values so we can have those boundaries to protect those values from toxic individuals. And they come in all forms: toxic individuals, the opposition. They can come in the form of family members, siblings, friends, co-workers, and lovers, and in between. And honestly, on my journey, I started off as a very religious person. And my mom used to always say little things in quotes. And she used to always say, the devil gets in the people you love the most. She used to say that all the time. And I got this age to understand exactly what she really meant by that. I didn't really get with that. I'm thinking that it just sound like, okay, the devil get like the enemy gets in the people's journey. I've been on my self-awareness journey, or getting to know myself and God on my own without, people's conditions. I've been on this journey for 10 years, 10 to 11 years, but 10 years consciously. Made a decision. I was a deep religious Christian person. Started off in 2011, 2012. And then 2012 is when I started to put that down to pick up my own understanding of divine and who I am. And so the last 5 years of that journey and experience was more interpersonal. The first 5 years was external. I was loving, understanding and getting journey, and got with different, beautiful like minds. And we just I just got a lot of great information about, history predate before so-called slavery, But anyway, I just went on this beautiful journey and learned so much about melanin and the properties of food and yoga, Afrocentric beliefs and ideas. And it was a beautiful journey the first 5 years. But then the next 5 years was more of a internal personal journey where I had to learn some deep lessons that I wanted to know who I was. I did ask God, show me who I am. Who am I, God? And it took for me to get out of these experiences to really understand what those experiences really meant, or to connect the dots. And go back to what I'm saying about having self-awareness. I realized, like I said, the last 5 years, I was in a transaction. Let's say that I was in a transaction, this relationship, where it had me questioning my sanity. It had me questioning. I actually stripped off everything I had built up prior to that situation. I literally stripped it off. Took everything off. I literally lost myself. I lost myself. And it was a deep lesson. And it not only that experience, I went through a lot of abuse and a lot of turbulence in that experience, but it really led back to me to go back to my childhood. Because I wanted to know, okay, when I was going through that situation, that transaction, this situationship, I didn't see it. I didn't understand, but I used to ask, because I always, first of all, let me back it up. I always been I consider myself as a very spiritual person. Even when I was in religion, I always had this internal connection to God, always, innately. So me in that toxic, abusive experience, I used to talk to God all the time. Even before that experience happened, I knew it was something. It's a lesson to be learned through this. If you go through this, you're going to learn a deep lesson. Like, I hear God talk to me all the time. And I was so, at that, before I even understood what cognitive dissonance is, I think I had an issue with that prior to that. That's how I understand. Man, when I tell you I've been connecting the dots to my shadow work, my internal, work, it all go back to the childhood and how I was raised and what my caregivers gave me. And it wasn't the best, it was very dysfunctional, it was very traumatic. And so I feel that I was subconsciously programmed, still running off that program of surviving, as a child. When you grow up with very antagonist, narcissistic parents, either you're going to become them or you become the opposite of them, where you just try to, you people please, and you codependent is really just trying to make them happy. Do anything you can to make them happy. That was my role in it. Like I took the blame, because those type of people with that type of personality and in they, in their mindset, they put the blame off on you. They make you feel really guilty because you don't own up to what they want you to be. Me going through that situation with that person in love made me look at my childhood, because I want to know why. Me personally, I want to know why I'm going through this, because this ain't even me for real. I never really experienced such abuse in this situation. Like in love, like I have had relationships where it had toxicity in it, but not into that way where somebody deliberately hates you and somebody deliberately want to see you hurt and down. I just never thought that person would do me like that or felt that way to him. I just didn't see it coming. I know one thing I can say: when a person show you who they are, you better believe them. And if you don't believe them, you're going to get very hurt. You're going to get scarred. And so I said all that to say, you got to be careful who you let in your circle. And if you don't have that self-awareness of self, you'll be pulled in these toxic, very toxic, abusive relationships, and you continue to be attracting these types of individuals with these different toxic behaviors, and because of their toxic personality. It's a lot of people that would never address their issues. It's a lot of people that gonna always run from themselves. There's some people that just would never face themselves and take responsibility. It's just gonna be people that's addicted to using people as their coping, how to cope, instead of them sitting down and reflecting and having empathy, which they lack. Some people, toxic people, just lack empathy. And if they lack empathy, that means you lacking God. That's just in my opinion. God to me is empathy. Now, you can be too empathetic and get used. That's what I'm saying. When you're coming from dysfunction and you trying to survive, like me, I was trying to survive, and I was so empathetic, and people will use that against you, your empathy. They will use it and they will abuse you with that. And so I said that to say, I never thought that I would get got like that. I never thought that person out of all people would get me like that, or try to take me down, or try to destroy me, and try to take the internal light of mine, because they didn't have that. They don't have empathy. They don't even have the way I think, the way I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm just the most smartest person in the whole wide world. I'm not trying to say like I don't have issues that I need to handle. Like, I'm not perfect, but I have empathy. I don't deliberately go about intentionally trying to hurt somebody, or plan and not take responsibility, or know how to cope. or not coping in healthy ways, being destructive and ungodly. And dating with somebody, you have to make sure y'all have the same values. Like, these are lessons that I had to learn once I, became on my own, because prior to these experiences, I always been in relationships, monogamous, long relationships. So when I got by myself and tried to, want to do me, I wanted just to really get to know me, because I always been in relationships, long relationships, never had a chance to really understand who I was. And then once I got out of that prior long relationship, that's when I guess I got the lessons, or was taught through experience, about boundaries and values. Having strong, defined, not thinking these ideas. Like, I'm thinking I knew, like, I practiced this, but I was doing it unconsciously. Honestly, now that I look back, I had values unconsciously. I had boundaries unconsciously, because, or just not really keeping them. I wasn't doing it consciously. Hard for my money, or I work hard for things I have, and I value the person I'm with to do the same. And I'm not finna sit here and take care of a grown person. Like, I'm not finna do that. And if they don't handle them as an individual, then I'm out. And so I had certain values of mine. Like, I'm not finna be honest with you, I'm just not finna take care of no man. Like, straight up. Like, I'm not that type of woman to sit back and, I've done that before. Like, young, just didn't know what was going on. Like, but as you make mistakes and you learn from that, when you don't have that self-awareness, and it just trickled down to your values and to your boundaries, to protect your values. And I had a great lesson of that because of childhood. Like I said, I go back to my childhood. I wasn't properly cultivated to understand my emotions, to understand who I am as a person. I wasn't allowed to be me, to really just be me, and to be loved properly. I wasn't. And now that I'm my age, I am responsible with my life. So I'm always have been a person that loved to evolve and grow. I'm never going to stay the same. I love to learn, and I love to take what I learned and practice it. And I know that if you want something different in life, you got to do, you can't continue to do the same thing to get different results. It's just not going to happen. You got to do something different. So me going through that experience, I realized something was wrong. Like, that experience was, I'm going to go deep into it another time, another video, but that experience helped me to open my eyes. I'm not angry, you go through stages of healing. I'm not going to say, I have had, it was very shocking, because the same person that did this to me this time done it to me before. Like, this ain't the first time the same person betrayed me, did the same thing, like, but different, but the same exact tone. I thought the fact that, we was younger, and that, time went on, 10 years went by, I could maybe give it a go around. Let's try it again. No, when a person show you who they are the first time, you better believe them. You better believe them, because if you don't, you're going to get got. You're going to get got, because if you don't have that self-awareness, because if you got the self-awareness, you got the boundaries, you got the values, right? And then you got these boundaries. And if you see the first, not to say somebody do a red flag the first time you out of there, I'm not getting like that extreme, but if you address something and they don't take responsibility, they can keep it trucking. They can keep it trucking and get plenty of supply. Cause that's what they gonna do, boo. They gonna keep them some supply, boo. They got 3, 4 on back on stage. That's just what they do. They just keep a whole bunch of supply, and they cheat, they deceive, they lie, they live in double lives. Like, when, it just, y'all got to be careful. We got to be careful out here. You got to have that self-awareness, because if you don't, you're going to get drugged, and you're going to get in these situations where you get abused and used and exploited. Like I've been through all that. Especially when they first go down, you just be like really confused. I just couldn't believe it. Me personally, I'm just like, reason why I was there so long, because I'm like, I can't believe this. I couldn't believe it. Like, because this person, what they do, they show you this false sense person. They show you this false person of themselves that they done built and created. They done created this little character, honey. They give you that. And then when they get what they want out you and they get boring, or they done found something else a little bit shinier, better, they gonna start flipping on you. And nothing but an object, you know? And I'm telling you, I'm saying all this to say because of the experience I experienced with, with a person I thought they cared about me. They was the ops. Straight up opping. Not this time. Not this time. When you know what you are and who you are, baby, you be protected out here. When you have a true connection with God, can't nobody mess with you, boo. Your true connection to the source, baby, they try to. So I just said all that to say you have to have self-awareness of yourself. Because when you don't have true self-awareness and if you're operating and coping on a survival mode from your childhood, and as time go on, you ain't aware of that, you still be repeating these same cycles, attracting these same situations. Whether it don't even have to be love, it can just be people in your family, co-workers, bosses, authority figures, friends, and they do be narcissistic. Let me say a disclaimer. I do realize there is a difference between having narcissistic traits and having a narcissistic personality disorder. I realize that we all have narcissistic traits, or some people may have a style, a lot of traits of narcissistic in their personality, like style, but doesn't necessarily mean that they are a narcissist, because you'll know true narcissist person. Like, I experienced it with my mother, and I experienced it actually 2 other times. One of them was short-lived, very short-lived, and then the other one was very long-lived. It was quite some years. Due to the fact, because I thought I knew this person because we probably dated in my early 20s, so I'm thinking that we can give it a go round. They acted the same way they did then, this time. They same personality. That's how, and the stuff that I've studied, the books I've read, the articles I've read, I actually read some stuff in the DSM-5 about this personality disorder. Just my experience. It is, you got to be careful. You got to have that self-aware. It ain't just narcissism. It's psychopath. It's antisocial people. And it's so many out here, but the main ones that I really dealt with was narcissism. And I know, like, I'm not a doctor and I can't diagnose, but the people that really hurt me the most was the people that has high levels of personality disorder, narcissist. Like, they fit the prescription. They want to know 1 or 2 traits. It was every trait in the DSM-5. My mom and that person I was dealing with, they had the same thing going on. The same thing. My mom did it in one way, and that person did it the same way, but in a different way, because of one was a lover, one of them was parental. But just in case, keep yourself, this is a reminder. Just continue with those. If you never experienced abuse, especially narcissistic abuse, hey, whatever you're doing, stay clear. But just in case, you don't know if you're in a situation where you feel confused, conflicted, isolated, you feel like you're alone, feel like you're about to go crazy, you feeling breadcrumbed, you feeling like when you can't express yourself, they talk to you like you're crazy, they do mind games, flip things back on you, they're not taking responsibility, they blaming you, they keep this flip-flopping, and it's this running cat and mouse, it's like a push-pull type of relationship. you better best believe, baby, you better do some research, boo. Not to say they are narcissists, but they may have a heavy narcissistic personality, and you don't need to be dealt with it, especially if it's abuse, you know, or you have a feeling that it could get to that way, like people are, you know, gradually building up to that. Because, you know, I've been in a situation where I felt as if I don't get out this right now, it's finna get dangerous. I can feel the heat. Like, I can feel something about to go wrong. Just to talk a little bit about, you know, self-awareness, boundaries, and values, and negative, toxic personalities and toxic people, you know, to share my experience. Because when you don't have self-awareness, you end up with those type of people that I described. Or you may encounter those or have those type of personalities in your family and didn't know what it was what it was. Like you thinking this is normal because you grew up in this dysfunction. I'm thinking that's that person and that's just a normal thing, and I'm so used to the dysfunction I can hang. But that ain't that stuff will get you sick. You've been almost be dead, croaked over, trying to hang and try to, you know, high blood pressure, baby, skin issues, reproductive issues. And then if you continue, they so reckless, they don't care nothing about you. You make, you know, you call them out for some stuff they did to hurt you, right? And they get mad at you and they go cheat on you because you called them out on some stuff that they did to you. People out here that is just for the streets and for the enemy. They don't have no God in them. They don't have no righteousness in them. They are not righteous at all. They full of fear. They full of jealousy and hate. And that God. Keep self-awareness. And getting self-awareness is asking questions. Asking yourself questions, doing check-ins with yourself, writing journals, spending time alone, meditating so you can hear your own internal voice. You know, meditation is the key. Just breathing and listening in the quiet. Just you and God. Just you and God. That's how you gain more self-awareness, by listening and listening to your body and understanding your emotions, how you feel. It's okay to feel feelings, but understand what those feelings mean. Sit and ask yourself, like, okay, why do I feel this way? Because it don't be them or outside. It be something on the inside that's triggering. Understanding your triggers, you know, that's a part of self-awareness. Keeping understanding how you cope and understanding how, if you're not coping healthy, what are ways to cope, help and identify those unhealthy coping mechanisms. You know, it could be different array of things of way we cope, you know. But definitely do your best to understand yours, so you can, when you are with other people, you can see and understand theirs. So you can make discernment and great judgment if these people are mature enough and safe enough for them to be in your circle, because everybody don't think like you, boo. Everybody don't have an empathy and heart like you. You got to protect yourself at all costs, because snakes will come in your circle and come in to try to destroy you. They come in all shapes and sizes. Like my mama said, the devil get in the people that love you the most. And so definitely be careful out here and keep those. Be self-aware. Have your values and create those boundaries from there so you can protect yourself from toxic individuals that come to steal, kill, and destroy. Again, some people you think will come to use you for your money. Some people try to come in your life to use you for your accolades. And some people just come in your life just to destroy you. Just because you got the essence of God. You have a light. You're confident. You love yourself. You know, you just so naturally, regardless of your childhood, regardless of what have brought you down. That's what your resilience, your get up, your bounce back. They see when every time you get knocked down, you get up. They'll come in your life just to take that from you. Yeah. And I experienced that, and it'd be somebody you never think could do you like that. Be the main one. So Keep your friend close and your enemies closer. I think keep your enemy close and your friends closer, because it be the motherfuckers, excuse me, it be the people that be the closest to you that get you every time. And I seen that it be the same. You better always check your circle. I don't care how close y'all be clued for 20 years. You better keep your eye. You better make sure it's solid and found. Like, y'all know it's solid. Y'all know with a shadow of a doubt, we got each other. You know, you don't feel no weird cricket shit. Soon you feel some weird stuff in your body about a person, check in with God, question that stuff, and ask God to reveal to you. And God will reveal. But I'm not going to hold you up. Thank you all for checking in with me today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And stay tuned for more. I am here. Thank you. Sending peace and love.